Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it finished West Ham 2, Huddersfield 0 as their first home game of the season, ended in our first victory of the season as well. Slaven Bilic made a few changes, strange formation which me and Tom will discuss towards the end, but first we're going to go through the highlights of the 90 minutes. Well, we played well, perhaps. There wasn't loads of highlights in the first half, but we almost got off to a blinding start, Tom. Andy Carroll, decent work, ball cut across the face to go for Chiati, but at that point, were you thinking this is what we've been missing? Fast out the traps type West Ham.
Yeah, of course. No, it was an explosive first opening, sort of 20, 25 minutes, and definitely showing our intent. You know, we had a handful of corners in that opening exchange, a few digs, shots on target. Obviously, I think Antonio in that first opening 20 minutes of play was brilliant. His energy and pace down that right-hand side. A couple of chances, like you said. Chiati couldn't hit a fucking barn door with a banjo, but nothing's new there. But no, you're right, though. It's that same sort of that intensity that we've lacked almost, and it's taken us these 3 straight losses to lose. But, you get a reinvigoration or a sense of, I'm trying to explain it here, but being back at home for the first game, for the first home game of the season, you take off that crowd's energy because, they were right up for it. All the talk this week was that it was going to be a hostile atmosphere for the players and for, but I think the players sort of, they could feel the atmosphere and what the game meant to us last night. And it was fantastic to see him sort of all clicking on all cylinders in those opening 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I thought we were really good for the whole first half, actually. Hernandez hit the bar as well, which is unfortunate, really, because I think if that had gone in, or Chiati, I think the game would have been different. I think the atmosphere would have picked up. I think the atmosphere would have been a lot better if one of them had gone in. But I thought we were playing good. I thought we were getting it down. I thought we were playing decent football. It looked like we were up for it. We kept Huddersfield at arm's length. Joe Hart didn't really have anything to do in the first half at all, really. But while we were positive, I was thinking, have we missed our chance here to do something? Because I went in at half time. You did think it's not like us to compete for the whole game. But were you happy at half time, Tom? Were you encouraged, or were you a bit nervous, sort of thing, for the second half?
To be honest with you, I think with the chances that we'd had and how many chances we taken, and I think Huddersfield soaked up the pressure brilliantly. I didn't underestimate them entirely coming into last night. I thought they were going to be the team that they'd been all season, which has been absolutely fantastic. And they're going to be on the high. They're going to try and seize the opportunity. So I think for them to get in a half time at 0-0, they got to be absolutely, really, really, really happy with what it is. And Wagner would have told him that. It looks obviously like at some points that they did try and shut up shop. But they had a chance at half-time potentially in that second half. You don't know how much energy that we've expended in that first half to try and score a goal. They could come out and nick something in the second half. But I think, the only thing I would like to see is potentially slotting away a few more of those chances. But hopefully that will come as the season comes on. But no, I think other than that, it was nice to see us play with a bit of pace, possession football, working hard. Like watching Zabaleta in that first half, just tracking up and down and up and down. I think I saw a great tweet from West Ham News yesterday to say that if anybody had thought that his legs had potentially gone in the Premier League, I think, is a complete reality check, because I think yesterday he was absolutely outstanding in that first half. And it showed because, that they were misplacing passes, kicking balls out for throw-ins, and just what a little bit of pressure does. And like I said, I think in all aspects, other than our finishing, we were absolutely perfect in that first half.
I have to say that first half, there's been a lot of talk over we've got this problem, and one of the things is fitness. I think we might have put a little bit. Of distance in that thought last night, because that first half, one thing we weren't lacking was energy. Zabaleta was the forefront. Antonio, I thought Chiati and Obiang both were running themselves into the ground as well. Creswell was getting up and down that left side as well. But the second half, though, Tom, do you think Huddersfield came out with a different game plan, or was this their game plan? Keep West Ham, get it in at halftime 0-0, hope the fans turn on them, because that's what everybody says, isn't it? If it's 0-0, West Ham fans will turn on their team, but we didn't. But I thought Huddersfield came out in the second half a much better side than we saw in the first half. Yeah,
I think they did, and I think they'll be buoyed by the fact that it went in at 0-0. I think they were probably going to expect everything that was going to be thrown at them in the first half. And they, like I said in a second ago, they soaked up the pressure fantastic. And I think having that potential renewed energy of, okay, we've gone in at 0-0, we could potentially get a smash and grab sort of a victory in that second half, just by a single goal or something, like they did against Newcastle in a way. But no, I thought I did expect maybe a bit more attacking football, but I think a lot of their philosophies, or David Wagner's philosophies last year in the Championship, was built off of defending and playing, I think, fast counter-attacking football. I don't know. I mean, a couple of times I watched them, they seem to build from the back. So yeah, I think I was worried because I thought, oh God, if we've not put the game to bed in the first half, typical West Ham, second half, they're going to come out and they are going to be confident and we're going to go a goal behind. So no, I mean, I was a little nervous because especially with the chances that we hadn't taken and you know, history with us isn't great when stuff like that's happened. But yeah, you know, what can you say?
Yeah, I was a bit worried as well because our defence has been very error prone, and I thought they were finally putting us under pressure at that first bit of the second half. And I thought, who's going to make a mistake? When are we going to make a mistake? What is the mistake going to be, etc. And they were starting to knock the ball about, and I thought they were doing good in it. But the big talking point came with that sub. Hernandez went off. Ayew come on. The boos went round. I mean, were you scratching your head as well?
Yeah, of course. I think I was. It wasn't necessarily who he was bringing on. I thought Ayew can always contribute when he comes on. I've not slated Ayew in the past. I haven't really had much to say on him, to be honest. I thought, you know, at the price we paid for him, you know, I expect him to make an impact. So I haven't really been too judgmental about him. I just think, especially how fast-paced we went out in the first half, I thought that the sub to be made would be to take Carroll off and put Ayew on. So I don't think there was any question of Ayew coming in. I think it was just who he brought him on for. And I know that you sent me an image earlier on of Hernandez's average position of where he played, and it was in that number 10 role just behind Carroll. But I think seeing him line up on that left and having to come inside or playing behind the striker, it didn't seem to suit him very well. He couldn't really get involved in the game all too much. And when he did, I don't think he offered much. So I can understand why Bilic has said, fair enough, you know, we can bring him on. But I just think that we didn't accommodate or didn't try to accommodate Hernandez on the pitch last night. You know, I think we played a lot of long balls and respecting flick-ons, but we didn't see it. You know, and he's almost tried to, like I said, he's tried to accommodate him for playing Carroll up front, which means having to move him over to that wing spot. But he might have done it because we're short on wingers at the minute. Arnautovic is suspended, and you know, but I definitely thought that I was going to come on, but I just didn't think that he would bring Hernandez off. Okay, so like I said, especially we know what Carroll is like, and I thought that second half, fair enough, he won a few extra balls in the air or so, you know, but he also was not at that same sort of physical intenseness that he was showing in the first half. You could clearly see that, you know, the pace was taking its toll on him, and I just thought, my God, please don't injure him again. So I thought bring him on for Carroll at that point. But you know, fair enough, it's turned out to be a tactical masterstroke, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I would have just liked to see Carroll come off just because of the injury worry. That was all.
I thought it was going to be Carroll. I said to Tom and Bears, I said, question now in the second half is how fit is Andy Carroll? That's the question. How long can he stay on the pitch for? But now and again, he would be back defending the corner and be sprinting up the pitch. You know, well, he's also fine. So I thought he was actually a way to take off a centre-back. I actually thought Bilic was going to go for it. I thought he's a way to take off a centre-back, push Hernandez up with Carroll and put Ayew left wing, go 4-4-2. And I thought he was going to do that. So I was shocked. I was surprised to Hernandez off. And I did think if we don't win, I thought that sub is going to sum up your career at West Ham.
I was going to say, yeah, it could have. If we'd have lost last night, another decision like that could have absolutely killed him. It
would have summed up Bilic's reign at West Ham, where you're doing subs that confuse a lot of people, basically. It worked out. If it was luck or it was a tactical masterstroke or whatever you want to call it, we'll discuss that in a minute. But we made it 1-0. Obiang shot, massive deflection. I'm not even going to call it an Obiang goal. It was an own goal.
Did they give it to him in the end, or is it still under review on that?
I don't know. It's an own goal for me. And there's no way that's going in. That defender's arse isn't there. But we deserved it. Luck or not, I thought we deserved it. Do you think it was fair we took the lead?
Yeah, no, I think it was fair that we took the lead. And to be honest with you, how our season's gone, that's exactly the kind of goal that we were probably going to end up scoring. You couldn't have scripted it any better. But no, I think fair enough. Okay, Huddersfield, they defended a lot. You know, they were looking potentially to counter-attack against us last night, and they didn't really have too many options to do that. And I think, you know, even though we didn't take our chance in the first half, you can't not say that we didn't deserve a goal at least. And we're just going to have to take it as it comes, especially with the way things have gone for the first few weeks of the season. but I don't think anyway it was lucky. I think it was a question of when. And to be honest, when he took Hernandez off, I thought I didn't see where we were going to get a goal from. But no, it was it was definitely deserved. I really don't think Huddersfield offered much until the last 10 minutes when they went 2 down and realised that they had to fight to get something back from the game.
I thought we deserved a lead. It is lucky. You need a bit of luck now and again. How often has a lot gone against us in the past and stuff? So we deserved it. And do you know something? I hope I hope West Ham takes something from that, and that is shoot from outside the box. Just take a shot. I don't think we do it enough. And things like this happen. It deflects off someone, and now sometimes it'll go out for a corner, but that's fine. It doesn't. It's not always gonna. It's hardly ever gonna loop into the net. But this is what happens. You have to be in it to win it, and that's why you should be pulling trigger from the edge of the area. If crosses aren't working, if this isn't working, then shoot from outside the box. And what I find funny was Ayew passed it, and Obiang took the shot. But this is going to sound a bit strange, but I think them two had the least to do with the goal. That makes sense. I thought the Huddersfield defender had a bigger impact, and the other person that had a bigger impact on that goal was Chet Kiati. He ran tens of yards chasing that random punt by it was a little dink by Zabaleta. He chased that defender. He had no right to chase it. He didn't have to, but he chased it down, blocked it. Then I have to say, I was quite impressed with Kiati's touch, because I'm not Kiati's biggest fan in terms of ball at his feet. But his touch was good. Give it to Ayew. Bang, goal. 1-0. Not long after, it's 2-0. Ayew. What about Creswell's corners? Were you impressed with his set pieces?
Oh, absolutely.
On the pitch.
Yeah, mate, 100%. I think he's got to be our set piece taker now from going forward. I think we've known it since he scored that wonder little free kick against Stoke. You know, his ability to strike a ball is fantastic, and I think he gets great whip and bend where he can float one in. You know, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought his crosses were probably the best we've seen for the last couple of years. We know what Pyatt's set pieces were like. They were, were constantly just. They were never the same. There was one too short, one too long. Occasionally there'd be the decent ball, but no, Cresswell's delivery last night was absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really, really pleased with what I saw of him, and I'm glad that. I mean, he probably wouldn't have done potentially if Noble or Lanzini was back there, but I'm glad that he was being put on there, because it's some of the better set pieces we've seen in the past few weeks.
Yeah, it was 2-0. Cresswell corner. Ginge went for it, missed it. I'm going to give credit to Font for this, actually. He took a gamble that no one was going to get. Quite often you'll see defenders or an attacker from a corner, the ball will be missed, and everybody will be like, oh no, standing still, not on their toes. Font gambled that no one was going to get it. He was the one that got there, knocked off the line. Ayew tapped in. There's a joke there somewhere about Ayew being where Hernandez would have been and scoring a tap in, which is what Hernandez is known for.
Yeah, it is. And to be honest with you, we sort of saw that last season from Ayew, didn't we? There was a few times where he was sort of our fox in the box. There was a couple of occasions where against Watford, I think one, Sunderland another, where he was just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But any good striker will do that. But like you said, I think the better move in that play. Yes, it was a great delivery from Cresswell, but Fonte taking that risk and actually potentially scoring the goal there was the crux of the goal, really. It was the reason why it happened in the first place. And I thought Fonte had his best game yesterday in a West Ham shirt by miles. He just looked a lot more composed back there. And I think having those three centre-backs back there, not Ogbonna. I've not been his biggest fan the last year and a bit. I know he's been injured a lot last year, but he just hasn't been at that same level he was at when we first signed him. And I think potentially having a couple of more older, wilier players that usually know what they're doing back there. I think that back three system worked fantastic there last night, and I thought Fonte was absolutely superb.
Huddersfield did hit the bar. Ince hit the bar with Huddersfield. Joe Hart made a smart save as well, but it finished 2-0 West Ham. Tom, were you a happy hammer or a it'll do for now hammer?
No, of course. I mean, it's a bit of both, really, because you're happy because we finally picked up those 3rd points. I'd hate to be in the position that Palace are in today. Their unrest that's going on at the minute, and it would have just dragged out probably over the next week the bad feeling about going into West Brom, a place we've not historically been great over the last couple of years, other than that 4-1 win the other year. But no, I think it was a patch over what's going on at the club at the minute. I think for the next 24, 48 hours, of course, it's going to feel great. We've won our first game of the season, but now we've got to go back to reality, and that's just we have to stick at that. We have to build on that now. We can't lose focus. We can't drop our momentum. We have to carry it through. Going on West Brom next week and then into the cup game. But then the tough matches start because our tough months are coming up. So we need to be building on our confidence. So I can't say that obviously we're not we're not there yet, but we've seen a portion of where we can go and how well this team can play together. I think if you've got all the right components that are coming back and are playing, it's exciting times, because that is a team that should definitely be pushing top 10 or even more. So, like I said, it's happy. You feel happy that, yesterday and today, seeing that, and especially the attacking football that we played. But getting back to the next couple of weeks, we have to now build on that. We can't rest on our laurels and move forward.
Yeah, it was far from champagne football. It was not champagne football, but it was effective football. I thought we had Carroll up front. I thought he was absolutely fantastic last night. Carroll, I'm a big. If you watch his channel a lot, you'll know I'm a big fan of Andy Carroll. I thought he was superb in that first half. But you're right. We can't take anything for granted. We have to go again. But it does raise a lot of questions. It raises a question about Mark Noble. It raises a question about how do you put Arnautovic into that system you're going to play at. And it raises a question of what do you do with Hernandez, because a lot of people weren't happy with him. But would it work with Hernandez up front instead of Andy Carroll? I don't know. But we've now got a new formation, 3-4-3. Do we stick with it or what? It raises a lot of questions. But I think you have to give a lot of respect to Huddersfield. They came into that match with 3 games, 7 points, not conceded a goal. Everybody was talking in the build-up about how it won't be an easy game. We won, and it seems that some people have gone, yeah, but it was only Huddersfield. They weren't very good. Well, I'm not having that. Before the game, we were saying about how good they've been, how hard it will be. And for me, Bilic got his tactics spot on last night. I thought his tactics were spot on. The way it worked, it was job done. Nothing fantastic. I thought the players all played. This is what confuses me, though. Newcastle looked like the players couldn't be ours, but last night it looked like they're all playing for the manager again. What's changed in the last 2 weeks? It's just I don't know, but it looked like they were playing for the manager again. That was good to see. The effort was there. Thought everybody played well. I don't think anyone had a poor game. There were some that did better than others, which we'll talk about quickly. But what did you make of the Hernandez thing? 3-4-3 out on the left, but how do you move him? Where do you put him then? Do you put him up front and drop Andy Carroll? I mean, how do you use him then, Tom?
I mean, it's so difficult really to say what our best lineups are going to be like, or who's going to fit where. Does Hernandez look better when Lanzini's back, and the two of them, flair players almost connecting and playing it there? Do you have the big and small combo with the two playing up top? I think it's a great decision for Bilic to have, because obviously he's got different weapons and the way that he can utilise them. But I'm not a fan of accommodating him on the left-hand side just because he has to play Carroll. I think they either play both together up top or he plays one up top on his own. I don't know if that was, like I said, just because of the Arnautovic thing, or he didn't really have a winger.
Let me just butt in, because I was hoping you were going to say, so if he does play them both up front, where do you put Antonio?
But this is the thing. I mean, I don't know. Does he revert? Does he go back to wing back again? Does he? This is the thing. It's the players. It's difficult because the players that we've got, or the players that are coming back, are definitely players that should be starting. But where the square pegs and round holes fit again, I really don't know. Does he go 4-4-2 and drop him back to look more right mid? Just the players that we've got and where they play, it's definitely going to be difficult for his tactics over the next few weeks in deciding. But I just think he has to have a couple of ideas for a squad, or how he's going to, because they all play a different system, if that makes sense. Like I'm not sure how they're going to fit together or gel together. Maybe that'll become more, because we haven't seen Carroll for the last few months. But I do think it is either one or the other. It doesn't look like, especially if we're going to play this 3-4-3 system, they can't play together. And that's not a knock against either of them. It just the system just doesn't fit them working together. So they either play the two up top or just one up top on their own, because you can't have them both together.
I thought the Hernandez thing on the left was fine, actually. I'm not quite as up in an uproar as most people were, because I think he was left winger when we didn't have the ball. He was tracking right back, but someone had to, because there was quite a few times Hernandez was in the middle and the right back was away and Creswell was up against 2 and Obiang was having to come out, etc. So someone had to do it. But when we had possession, I thought Hernandez was trying to get close to Carroll as quick as he can, and if he scored that goal that hit the bar, I think a lot of people would have almost said, well, this was genius, putting him on the wing so that the centre-backs are, Carroll's occupying the 2 centre-backs and Hernandez is running about with Antonio Luciano.
Yeah, I think as well, you've got to take it as well. It's on by a game basis. You have to take it on who your opposition are, and and what you expect to get out of that game. Because if we think that Carroll can be more effective against maybe potentially a few weaker centre backs, or you would play him in those kind of games, so it does almost see as if, you know, what opposition we're going to be playing against as well. That's obviously going to fit into Bilic's mind when deciding the team, etc. So it is going to vary week to week. I'm not sure we'll see the same 11 every single week. But like I said, I think it's a fantastic choice that Bilic has. So you have these type of players and these, I wouldn't say world class, but, you know, good, experienced Premier League players, and, you know, what he can do with them in the different systems that he can play.
Just quickly, does this mean we should be playing a back three now? I mean, last season it was our best when we played back three. Back three finally, and we've got a clean sheet. Should we be sticking with back three and then trying to fix the rest of the team around it, or what?
Yeah, no, I think you got to go with what works. If it doesn't work in West Brom next week, then we change it back. But I think, like you just said there, I think we were at our best last season. And I think especially, the Everton game, we had the run of 3 or 4 games where we kept clean sheets in a row. I think Everton, Swansea, and we were playing that system. And it suited us down to the ground. So if it's what's working at the minute and it's the way that he can accommodate and get all those players in, I think most definitely. But whether that system is going to work against sort of a Spurs side, because it did look quite an attacking 3 at the back as well, with the way that Cresswell and Zabaleta were pushing up as far as they did. But definitely, I think for West Brom next week, I think we've got to be looking at some fast, potentially, I wouldn't say counter-attacking, but that formation could work quite well against quite a defensive team like West Brom. So yeah, I'd stick with it until something definitely needs to change. But no, I'd completely go with what he did.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's got to be back three, and it's up to him to come up with a solution for the other 7. Well, 2 will be sort of full-backs, wing-backs, if you like. So he's got to come up with the formation, just sort of fit everyone in and stuff. Not easy, no right answer, I don't think. But we've spoken about a few players. Is there anyone else that impressed you, Tom? Don't give me your man of match yet, but just anyone else that impressed you, and what's your final thoughts?
To be honest with you, I was just, Joe didn't have much to do. I thought Reedy and Collins were standard. We expect that sort of performance from them. I said before the game in our Brace the Hammer chat, in our Slack chat, and I did say I would like to see Fonte start, because I've not been overly convinced by Ogbonna in the last 16 to 18 months. I think he's been off the pace, and I thought he was brilliant. Like I said, best game in a West Ham shirt last night. I thought Obiang ran his socks off. He just looked knackered when he come off, didn't he? I thought he ran himself into the ground last night, and that was the best performance he's put in this season. And just Carroll, it was just nice to see him back, mate. I think he just gives you that extra. He just gives that extra edge, and something that we haven't seen for a while, because on his day he's unplayable. There's not many people that can deal with him in the Premier League. And like I said, I think he was fantastic. Antonio, again, he seems to have added skills to his game. I'm pretty sure Charlie's probably was going mental at the ground last night, watching him actually develop some skills. Maybe we want to see him here now, Charlie. And I thought as well, Zabaleta for me was just on another level. I thought he was brilliant. Just as a whole team performance last night was just what we've been crying out for, and it's brilliant to finally have that.
I thought it was fantastic. I think everyone did what they were supposed to do correct. I think everyone obviously had a set plan. I think everyone executed it correctly. I thought the difference with Carroll is we had an outlet from our defence. When we were defending before, to clear it, you were hoofing it to Hernandez and would come back at you. Carroll was winning it. Antonio was risking it. Antonio was gambling in behind Carroll a few times. That's good to see. But I thought Obiang was immense in centre midfield last night. Like you said, he was blowing out his arse when he come off. I thought he could have come off sooner. I thought he was struggling, but I thought he was brilliant in that centre of the park. Best I've seen him play for a long time, actually. Antonio was just the Antonio that won Hammer of the Year. I thought Cresswell. I think Cresswell's been back to his best. You know, even though we've got even Newcastle, I thought he did okay going forward. I thought at Southampton he was really, really good. Man, you did. I think we're seeing Cresswell come what we saw before his injury when he first arrived. But big question then: who's getting your man in match? There's quite a lot to choose from, but I think there's 1 or 2 that sort of just pull off from the rest.
Yeah. For me, personally, Zabaleta. I just think, there was so many good performances to choose from last night, but just personally for me, I just think Zabaleta, he just led from the front. From the word go, he was just getting stuck in. He was winning everything. He was just putting his heart on the line and put his heart on his sleeve. Working for everything, tracking down, putting pressure on the keeper. you could hear him vocalising, talking. You know, it's been so nice. I know he may have been at fault a couple of weeks ago for one of the goals, but he was just. It's so nice to see such a complicit right back and such an experienced right back that we've got, and we've landed ourselves with, like I said, for anyone that thought his legs had gone in the Premier League, you need to watch that game over again, because he can be successful for hopefully for the next couple of years. I don't think he's got just one season left in him, but for me he was absolutely brilliant last night, and I was so happy to see how well he played. I mean, other mentions obviously Antonio, Ayew and Carroll and Obiang respectively, but no, for me, mate, Zabaleta was just absolutely brilliant.
Same for me. The only thing I can add to that is I think he drags the other team. I think he drags the other 10 up to his standard, because you cannot stand on the pitch and watch him run 30 yards chasing a ball and just stand still. You have to move and back him up. And I think him doing that encourages the rest of them to do it. And I wonder if Zabaleta wasn't doing that in the first half. I wonder if Chet Kiai would have done it for our first goal, because Kiai did what Zabaleta did in the first half. He went running all the way, and he got a corner or a throw in or whatever out of it, and everybody stood up and applauded him for it. And it was almost like a carbon copy of what Kiai did. He chased it, and I wonder if he would have done that if Zabaleta hadn't done that earlier, because I just think he drags the rest of the team up. Incredible performance by him and Antonio and stuff. But anyway, that's it from us. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new. Last thing I want to say though, the Huddersfield fans last night I thought were fantastic. Best fans I've seen at the London Stadium.
I was gonna say, I mean, I've had uni this week, so I couldn't unfortunately get down for the game. But even from sitting on my ass back here on the sofa behind me, they were, to be fair, they did sound like the best fans we've seen at London Stadium.
They went first minute to the last minute, even 2-0 down. They were all standing up. Monday night as well. Not the easiest trip for them to make. They were fantastic. I thought their fans were absolutely fantastic last night. So credit to them. And I hope they stay up, actually. I do hope Huddersfield stay up. But anyway, that's it from me and Tom. Let us know who your man of match was below. And also, how do we get around this starting 11 situation? Where do we put Hernandez? Doesn't mean dropping Andy Carroll, because I don't think we would have won last night without Andy Carroll. I thought, while he didn't have a hand in the goals, I thought he had a huge impact on the performance and stuff. So how does Bilic get around it? We've got Arnautovic back, Lanzini's back soon. So how do you fit them in to the starting 11? What would your starting 11 be? Let us know. Man of match below. Your thoughts on the result. Tom, May, Hammers Chat. Catch you later.